Hey, what's up guys? Sir Emanon here, and we are finally back with the inaugural episode of Road to 1000 Dueling Book Rating for this current season, which will be Season 4. This is obviously for the April 2020 format, aka the format that I haven't really been playing, although I have had a couple of games on this account already played at the very start of the format, but I really don't think that I will showcase those games because they were before Eternity Code and, just a long, long time ago at this point, before like the Machina structure deck and all of that. So, the format has progressed very, very substantially from there. So I just kind of feel like those games are a bit too outdated for the purposes of this series. But I'm gonna do the series not fundamentally different, but just a little bit different in that this is of course still going to be featuring informative commentary and the like, but I want to make it a bit more viewer interactive, meaning that if you guys have any particular suggestions on decks that I should play for the series, or if you guys want to see anything specific, then feel free to let me know, because I feel kind of like a new player again almost, except obviously I'm not a new player, but returning to this format definitely has me kind of relearning old habits I used to develop, and establishing fundamentals and all that good stuff, not to mention the very format specific details. So because of that, I anticipate that I probably won't be as good as I was a couple months ago when I was like actively hardcore grinding, if you know what I mean. So this is kind of a chance for me to get my feet wet, and I think that that's also kind of a good avenue for you guys to pitch your suggestions and feedback and all that good stuff. So yeah, for this episode here, I'm going to be playing a combo dino variant. It's not really True King Dinosaur or True King Dinosaur. I'm playing one True King in it. But yeah, my build's a little bit weird, but I'm kind of just testing things out, as I said. So yeah, we're gonna be playing against Plunder Patroll today. And this is one of the many, many archetypes that I just have no idea what the cards do, because for a lot of the decks that I've received new support, which is like a great many of them, I just am completely unfamiliar with their playstyle and like what the cards themselves do for that matter. Another example I can think of off the top of my head is like Generator. That's another deck that I just haven't really read the cards and just sat down and learned everything. So there's going to be a lot of that for me to do in the upcoming days and weeks as I kind of just reintegrate myself into the game. So if you spot any like glaring misplays, definitely point them out. Feel free to, flame me and call me bad and all that stuff. As I know YouTube comment sections like to do. But no, in all seriousness, if you guys do see any like glaring mistakes in my gameplay, definitely point them out, because I won't be as acutely aware of like things that could be optimized as, I might have been again like a couple months ago when I was like really, really into the game. So again, this is me reestablishing myself, and I've kind of been rambling long enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and just get started here. So he actually wins the rock paper scissors and allows me to go first. I don't actually know if Plunder Patrol is a blind second deck. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I have like a vague understanding of what they do as far as they equip their main deck monsters to extra deck monsters. They can just summon directly from the extra deck, like without having to, generally speaking, rely on like normal summoning conditions. And then they gain additional effects, or not additional effects, but they gain their effects as quick effects if they have a Plunder Patrol monster equipped. So that is about the extent of what I know. And I kind of was just like feeling things out as I was playing the game. But given the fact that he, made me go first, I was like kind of thinking, all right, I'm probably going to have to play through some sort of disruption. And of course he has Ash, and he actually has a Kaiju as well. And from what I can tell as well, the Plunder Patrols are also reliant on attribute, not manipulation, but just like, summoning stuff based on the attributes of the monsters your opponent controls, which is why, Kaijus kind of work with that. I would assume. I don't exactly know like what the optimal or ideal Plunder Patrol list looks like, but that is from my vague understanding what we are going to do. But anyway, I'm still rambling, so let's go. We're gonna go ahead and normal summon the Overraptor here, and the hand's pretty good. We can do the full play with the Archosaur and everything, which is what I try to go for. But the miscellaneous source, of course, is going to get ashed. But we have the set rotation as follow-up, which is pretty good. And I figured that like this is probably going to get ashed, or the needle fiber or Halka Fibrax. I'm just going to call it fiber. Fiber's probably going to get ashed, if not miscellaneous source. So this getting hit with ash was pretty good news to me, because I had a contingency already in my hand, whereas like if Fibrax got ashed, then it would have been pretty detrimental. But yeah, I gave him the Lost World and give myself Diagram. And then Diagram Pop Baby to grab the only True King that I'm currently playing in this list. I'm kind of testing it out because I did a fair amount of like solitarying before hopping into rated because I just didn't want to like go in blind completely. And kind of just through various test hands, I sort of just determined that a lot of the true kings weren't really great on their own, and they didn't really facilitate combos that like the needle fiber play couldn't already do. You know what I mean? So like the true kings, like while they're powerful, like you don't really need them as heavily to get to calamities anymore because needle fiber on its own does that, obviously. But I also just felt like you want to see more of like the dino portion, so I made the deck very dino heavy, and I also allowed it. Or it also allowed me to make room for hand traps, which I think are a premium in a format where Synchro, Eldritch, and Adamantipator are everywhere. But carrying on here, we're going to go ahead and resolve baby for baby, and then Oviraptor will target the baby to bring out the other baby. Of course, you have to actually bring out the other baby and not just like bring back the same copy, because of now how location activations work. Those changes are live on DuelingBook. But anyways, baby's gonna go ahead and bring up Petite Pteranodon, so I can pop it with the Lithosogem, as well as the other baby, of course. And he shows me his extra deck, and it's literally 3 of each of the 4 Plunder Patrol extra deck monsters, and then like I think I saw an Almirage, and like I saw like a Dragite, so maybe it's like playing cherries or something. I don't know. I feel like if you wanted to play cherries, then you would just cherries needle fiber. But anyways, we're just gonna banish one of each of them. I don't actually know like what the best ones are, so I just kind of picked random ones. So feel free to let me know if there's like any particular extra monster that I should be looking to banish, provided that they're playing 3 of each of them, of course. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and resolve our baby and Petite Pteranodon. So this play is a little bit it's still good, it just doesn't end on a Quatless off the evolution pill because we didn't get access to Archosaur. I didn't really feel like getting it. I summoned a Petite off of a baby, I think, and I feel I could have like summoned a third baby, and then like instead of this giant Rex, I could have gone for Archosaur and like popped this miscellaneous source to get the pillow that way. But I don't know, I just didn't really feel like doing it. Probably should have actually, but yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and go for fiber or Fibrex or whatever, and go for Jet Synchron. I actually tested with Link-Frost, and I just found that it actually wasn't super needed for the plays that I was trying to do. So I'm currently testing without it. So I just go straight into Auroradon here, and then go for the Olime. And I am playing the Garden Rose Maiden package, so the whole spiel of going into VFD or Calamities without using the rest of the Dino package. So I go into let's see. Yeah, so I think what I could have done is like skip the whole Petite Pteranodon play, because I like keeping the third baby in my deck just for follow-up plays, but like in reality, a lot of the time if you're resolving the combo, then like there isn't really a next turn most of the time. But like if this were a baby, then I wouldn't have had to summon like a Rex off of the Petite. So like this could have been actually Petite. And then I could have like left it on board and linked away the Lithosogem for the Hulk. Because there's a play you can do where you go down this line, and then when you go for Vermilion Dragon Mech, which you'll see, you can pop one of the babies and then get out either Pancratops, or you can get out like a Miscellaneous Source to go into a Dulka. So I kind of thought about that, but like in my mind at the time I was like, okay, let's just keep the Lithosogem on the board because it's a 9. That way I can like use Garden Rose Maiden for like other stuff. Because I'm like, okay, this Oviraptor's kind of lingering here and it's not really doing anything, so like I'm going for like an IP play. So which isn't like objectively worse or anything, it's just alternate lines that I could have done. So long story short, instead of Calamities plus IP, and I'm going to bring out the Coral Dragon, of course, with the Garden Rose Maiden, instead of this board, I could have had a Dulka, or I could have had a Pancratops in tandem with this. And if I had done the play prior where I like alternatively, if I didn't choose to go the baby route, I could have gone the Archosaur route, and I could have just had a what's it called, a Quatless on here. That would have caused me to forfeit my Ash because it would have to destroy the Miscellaneous Source off the Archosaur, and the Ash would have been pitched instead of the miscellaneous source for the Jet Synchron. So there's kind of like a lot of moving parts as far as like managing your resources correctly, but I'm still very much working on that. So if you guys have any ideas as far as like what the better line was out of those 3 options that I mentioned, feel free to let me know. But this is the one that I went with. Typically, as long as it ends on calamities, like it's generally pretty fine in a lot of matchups. But you know, going in blind, assuming Adamantipator or Synchro Eldritch, I do think that like that's mostly sufficient. But anyways, he top decks Nibiru. I didn't even know that, but yeah, he top decked Nibiru for turn, which definitely sucks. And I do know that the Plunder Patrols were water, because I had a friend who wanted me to test out the deck. So I think I like played around with it for like maybe 5 minutes. But yeah, they're water, so I don't know if they activate in hand, but I know they activate in grave, so that is the route that I chose to go. And he's going to Dogoron my IP, and then go for a red beard and set the trap, which I don't think the trap does anything at this point, because yeah, you have to have Plunder Patrols in your graveyard to make use out of it, so that was totally fine. And yeah, so I decided to go ahead and draw phase the calamities because this has a quick effect to tag out. So I just wanted like to force it so I knew what board I was dealing with. So yeah, he obviously is going to chain it and target the Dogoron, or not target the Dogoron, but you know, special summon using the attribute of Dogoron. And this card can't activate now that it is being turned into water off of the VFD. So we are pretty much, you know, just chilling here. As long as we don't play into Nibiru, we are fine. So we're gonna use a fossil that I picked up last turn. I didn't use it just because I wanted to like save it in case I like had, I don't know. There's not really good justification for that actually. I probably should have just used it, but in the end, it's not like hugely important. It's just more flexible for me to actually decide like when the turn comes around, instead of like trying to, you know, be as, I guess, proactive or forward planning. I guess that's a good way to put it. But yeah, miscellaneous source is going to be banished here, and this turn I'm going to get the Archosaur for the evolution pill. Baby's going to trigger, and basically just continue cycling this advantage. And I'm actually keeping track of my summons as I'm playing the game. So I was thinking, okay, as long as I don't play into Nibiru, I should be okay. This is summon 3, and then Pill is going to be summon 4, and I go ask battle phase, and then that is going to be that. So we're gonna go into game 2 here. I don't really know what to side against his deck, so I just choose not to side anything in the event that he'd make me start again, and lo and behold, he did. So yeah, it's pretty good. And yeah, he opens up like a lot of go second cards, and the hand's pretty awkward. It's like 2 hand traps. I'm like, not the best situation. In a lot of cases, Petite Pteranodon is you know, interchangeable with Baby in a lot of cases. Like I'm thinking hands of like Archosaur plus Baby or Petite, or like miscellaneous plus Petite. But like when you have to commit your normal summon already, it makes things hard, because then like you would want to, like in cases where you have to commit your normal summon to Overraptor, you obviously want to have a Baby special to your field. Whereas like if Petite Pteranodon is used early in the combo off of like say an Archosaur or like a Diagram or something, then you can preserve your normal summon for whatever you search off the Overraptor, and that's totally fine, because this obviously is going to summon Overraptor in that case. But in the case where you have to use Overraptor as your starting point, then it becomes a lot less good, so that definitely kind of ruins the play a little bit. So I think for a while here, I'm going to summon off the Miscellaneousaurus. So I have 2 options, of course, the Archosaur or the Aeolo, and after a bit of deliberation, I decide on Aeolo, because I figured that like needle fiber, I just habitually call it needle fiber. I'm sorry, I just can't. Needle fiber facilitates a combo strong enough by itself, and it also draws 2 cards. So I figured that okay, this is probably going to net me a good play, like between a VFD plus 2 hand traps, drawing 2 cards during the combo and drawing another card next turn. It probably won't be. I probably won't be start for like follow-up plays to actually close out the game. So yeah, I figured that this is like an okay play. The other route would have been to go, of course, Archosaur. So Archosaur would have popped the Petite Pteranodon to search the pill, and then this would have summoned probably like another miscellaneous source. Actually, it could have been another miscellaneous source, so that I could have turned the Archosaur into a Link Rebo, and then I could have done like a Link play for, I don't know, I could have done like a random Link play, and then I could have gone for a pill play with the Rex in my hand, and like whatever Link away, or the Link Rebo that I Link away with for the other thing that I want to Link. I'm like kind of word vomiting right now, but essentially like there was a line here where if I got on Archosaur, I could have ended on like either Dolka plus Quatless, or I could have gone like Pankratops Quatless. So like there's like multiple lines I could have gone, but I decided to just go for the Needle Fiber route, because I figured that, you know, it was generally okay, and he's holding his Imperm because he has Nibiru. I kind of figure like, okay, maybe he has Nibiru, considering like none of this is getting hand trapped and he blinded second, so I'm like, there's no way like this is gonna fully resolve. So like, I have that in mind. But yeah, he lets me go ahead and just pop off here entirely. I feel like personally, I don't know, I feel like at some point you have to Nibiru earlier than when he did. He Nibiru'd me at the end of my combo, but that means that I got value off of the draw 2 play here with the Croco Dragon and the Coral Dragon. So like this gave me the follow up for next turn because this pop Petit Pteranodon is like good enough. But yeah, like I don't know. I feel like if he Nibiru'd me at the point where I had like Garden Rose Maiden plus Jet Synchron plus 2 tokens, like that would have been really good because I would have committed my follow-up already in the form of Jet Synchron, and I would have been down a card, and I would have had nothing left, and I wouldn't have these cards, so I'd be like completely banking on hand traps here, and it would have top decked another hand trap for turns, so I would have definitely been in a much worse scenario. But yeah, he goes ahead and lets me just go into VFD, and then he uses Nibiru, which, you know, I kind of expected. I'm like, there's no way that this play is going to go unhindered, right? So yeah, we just go ahead and, you know, take it and hope that our hand traps will carry us into the next turn. I don't Ash Terraforming because I know their field spell has a cost attached to it, so I'm gonna go ahead and just Ash that instead. With the thought process in mind that like it doesn't matter that this stays on the field because like with this follow up I should be mostly good to go. So his Graveyard Effect of Bluebeard triggers to pitch an evenly to draw Imperm. So yeah, his play is to go for Redbeard, and I believe he goes into the Link monster, and then this re-equips itself, and then the Link monster activates and equips itself to the Xyz, which can quick effect banish because it has a Plunder Patroll equipped. So it can banish a monster, and then it can also Rhoda. So yeah, this also draws a card when it activates. Oh, I accidentally clicked fast forward there, but yeah, he just goes ahead and draws this fusion spell, and then he sets 2 impairment passes, and then I read this and I'm like, okay, so what happens if I just use this 3k Nibiru token its attack, because, you know, this is an effect monster, so like, you can't really do anything to it. So he tries to use it, and I'm like, it's a token, so he realizes that, and then he actually just scoops, even though he had double imperm. I don't think he had to scoop there, because like my play was definitely not secure, if you know what I mean. Granted, I did have another Ash to stop his follow-up with the Shipyard, but like he wasn't out of the game completely, but I guess he just, you know, felt like he ran out of gas there. But yeah, so that is it for this match. So basically, I am very much, as you can see, still trying to like wrap my head around a lot of the different scenarios and different things that can pop up. So like if I was kind of talking in circles there, I apologize. It is partially because I haven't really been commentating a whole lot, so that might be a little bit obvious, but also it is simply due to a matter of me not understanding the format as in-depth as I normally do. So this is kind of just me, you know, showcasing what I do know. And, you know, if you guys have anything to add or have any constructive feedback, as always, I would love to hear it. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comment section down below. Feel free to subscribe for more informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on Discord, Twitter, or Twitch. All 3 links in the description, as always. And once again, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.